Hello, this is Kat with Kettlebell Dojo, and today I'm going to answer one of the questions that got asked by one of our viewers, and that is, how do I prevent my hands from being torn during kettlebell snatch? So today I'm going to talk about how to prevent those rips happening, how to improve your technique, and what you can do right now and progressively practice in the future to never have ripped hands again. First, there are two types of kettlebell snatch. First type is a hardstyle snatch, which is performed with a cast iron kettlebell. Generally, it's performed with a heavier kettlebell because you're performing smaller number of reps. Or there is Girevoy snatch, which is kettlebell sport, and that is normally performed with a competition style steel kettlebell for higher number of reps, therefore the kettlebell will be lighter. At the top of my lockout here, notice that my kettlebell is resting at the bottom of my palm and it's resting horizontally. At the top of my lockout with Girevoy snatch, again, same thing. Notice the kettlebell is resting at the bottom of my palm and it's resting diagonally. So the insertion is a little bit deeper, but the idea is the same. However, at the back swing, the kettlebell will be resting on my fingers rather than this same position, right? So it's no longer resting here, it's going to be resting here. So in the hard style, the kettlebell is resting here. So it's resting at the very top of my palm and my fingers. And in Girevoy style, the kettlebell is also resting just on the ends of my fingers. So the key in not tearing the palm lies in jumping from the top position where the kettlebell is on the bottom of your palm here. So the bottom of your palm to the bottom position where the kettlebell is at the top of your palm or your fingers here. And so jumping between here and here is the secret in not tearing your palm, because this is what will happen if you don't. So if you continue hanging on to that kettlebell rather than jumping from here to here, so rather than doing this to this, you will scrape your palm with every rep. And the more reps you do, the more you will be scraping. Now, how can we create conditions favorable to jumping the hand? How we create that is by allowing the kettlebell to become weightless. The same thing that we do when we are snatching the kettlebell up, right? So we all know how to snatch the kettlebell up. So to snatch the kettlebell up, you make it weightless using your hips, and then while the kettlebell is flying up all on its own accord, you spear the hand on top of it, spear the hand into the handle, and the kettlebell lies on your hand, like so. So here the kettlebell will fly weightless, and then I will release it and spear the hand into the handle. So notice on the way up, the kettlebell is going to fly up weightless. I'm going to let go of it and then spear it onto my hand. This is how the handle ends up on the bottom of my palm in the lockout. And that's how we change that position on the way up, right? From the bottom of our fingers to the bottom of our palm, or from the tips of our fingers to the bottom of our palm. Now on the way down, we're doing the same exact thing. So we need to create that weightless situation. For pretty much 99% of people who tear their hand, what happens is they don't do that. So even if they create a weightless situation going up, when they go down, they throw the kettlebell forward. We call it casting. So here you are at the top, and instead of letting the kettlebell fall, you throw it like this. Now when you throw something forward, it flies forward, right? And if you don't want it to, fly away from you, you have to hang on to it. So what happens is there is no time, if you throw the kettlebell forward, that the kettlebell is weightless, and there is no time that you can let go of it, because if you do, it will fly away from you. So what you want to create, a free fall right next to your body. So you want the kettlebell to start falling here in a vertical trajectory, so that you can easily change your hand position around it without having to hang on to it, because you know where it's going. It's going down rather than flying away from you. So you want to push back your body, flip the kettlebell over. If you're doing hard style, you're going to be flipping it over. And while it's weightless, while it's flying down here, between about 11 o'clock and 7 o'clock, heaps of opportunity to do that. So it's a very long time that the kettlebell is flying weightless. You can change your hand position. And by about 7 o'clock, you secure your hand position at the bottom of your palm or the ends of your fingers, and you do the back swing. So again, you push your body back a little bit, you flip the kettlebell over, you make it float weightless, and then you grip it at about 7 o'clock. So I'm going to show you a few reps with a 16 kg kettlebell in slow motion, and just watch where my hand is changing position on the way up, and watch where it's changing position on the way down, just from here to here.
Notice the hand spear at 11 o'clock on the way up, and then as the kettlebell flips, I regrip, and then I secure the grip at about 7 o'clock on the way down. So that's really important, not to grip the handle until it's about 7 o'clock. Just track it with your hand. Just let it flip over. And then when the kettlebell is about 7 o'clock or below your belly button, you can grip it and go into the back swing. So during that weightless zone between 7 and 11, you do not need to grip the handle, just track the kettlebell with your hand, and instead this is where the re-gripping happens. If you still feel like you have to grip the handle all the way, you must revisit your basic one-arm swing and high pull technique and focus on taming the arc, which is accomplished by driving the kettlebell using your hips rather than dragging it up with your arm.
Did you notice it? So again, there is a period where the kettlebell is floating both on the way up and on the way down. It's somewhere between, if you look at the clock, imagine the clock, there is a 7 o'clock and 11 o'clock, that's where the kettlebell is floating, both on the way up and on the way down. Most people can create that floating sensation situation on the way up because that's how snatch is taught, but for many people, they don't repeat that same floating sensation on the way down. Instead, they cast the kettlebell forward, hanging onto it the whole time, which tears their hand. In the Girevoy situation, it's exactly the same thing, except what I do as well is I change my position on the kettlebell handle not only here to here. So I not only change the kettlebell handle position on my hand, but I also change my hand position on kettlebell handle. That's just a personal preference, again, because I have very small hands, and there is actually a position on the kettlebell handle where it makes it easier for me to hang on to the bell. So just in case there are any viewers who practice Girevoy sport, here is how I personally make sure that I don't tear my hands when participating in Girevoy competition.
At lockout, the corner of the handle is resting on the webbing between thumb and forefinger. This creates a very secure and stable position for the kettlebell and prevents it wobbling. For the backswing, I shift my hand towards the pinky side of the handle. I do this because of the personal preference, because of my small hands, and you can play around with what works for you, but the re-grip itself is the crucial part.
So this is the main aspect of technique. It's the ability to have the kettlebell float weightless and change your hand while it's floating weightless. Now there are a few things that you can do to improve your ability to execute this technique. And the most important thing is improving your grip strength. Most people, when they're performing their swings, they hang on to the kettlebell with their whole hand. And how do I know? I see it all the time in new students. They grab onto the kettlebell like so, and they hang on for dear life during swings. Of course, when you're doing the snatch, if this is how you swing, this is how you will want to do your back swing, and that's how you're going to tear your hand, because if you land into this position, then you're going to be scraping your palm. Now, from now on, whenever you're performing kettlebell swings or kettlebell farmer's carries, which is double kettlebell carry, or kettlebell suitcase carry, single kettlebell carry, just for those who are not sure what kettlebell swing is. Of course, you will know what it is because you're learning the snatch, and you know not to learn kettlebell snatch unless you've perfected your swing. So when you perform your kettlebell swing, you want to perform it with your kettlebell hanging on your fingers rather than gripping it for dear life like this, because that's not going to help you when you're performing your snatch. What this will do is improve your strength in this position. This is called the hook grip, and this is the correct grip that you need to use for your swings. You do not want to hang on to the kettlebell like this. So hook grip here. It's a very loose grip. And for most people, the main reason why they can't back swing in this position is because they're not strong in this position, because normally they swing in this really tight grip. And that's another reason why when they come down, their body simply doesn't trust the hand to hang on to the kettlebell if they regrip to this. And this brings us to the next point. When you're practicing this new technique for a while, you will have to go back to a lighter kettlebell. Of course, because you don't have the strength to swing that kettlebell on your fingers. You're still relying on the full strength of your palm, and that's why you're ripping your palm. So if you go back a little bit and start performing lighter snatches with good technique, so with letting your kettlebell fly weightless and then catching it on the end of your fingers, plus practicing swings however heavy you want, I would still stay under 20 reps if you're doing hard style per arm. So definitely one arm swing, no two hand swings for this, guys. You've grown past that since you've started doing snatches. No more two hand swings, so only single arm swings, and you're trying to hang on just by your fingers, and that's all you do. You're practicing your swings hanging on by your fingers, so that when your snatch comes down, you can comfortably jump to this position and backswing without feeling like you're about to lose the kettlebell. Last little tip. At the top of the snatch, you want to relax your grip. So again, a lot of people hang on to the kettlebell at the top of the snatch. I won't go too deep into that because that's a whole different aspect of the snatch, but you will do your grip a big favor if you relax it at the top. What I mean is this: whichever kettlebell you're using, whichever style you're using, at the top of your movement, open your hand. You don't have to open it super wide, just relax it. So just relax your hand, because hanging on at that point is absolutely useless. You don't need to. The kettlebell is staying there all by itself without your help. So spare your grip so that when you're coming down, you can use that grip to have the hook grip on your kettlebell handle. I hope that this video helped you guys. Please let me know in the comments below if you would like more videos like this that will help you master your kettlebell exercises, and I'll see you next time.